You work, you get paid, and somehow by the end of the month, the money's gone. You're not spending like crazy, you think you're pretty good with budgeting, but your bank statement tells a different story. The thing is, it's not bad luck, you're just making a few mistakes. In this video, I'll walk you through the most common money mistakes and tell you exactly how to fix them. Let's get started. The first mistake is a dangerous one. You aren't tracking your money. You know your salary, you know how much your rent is, and everything else just disappears. Here's what this looks like in numbers. Say you make $2,500 a month after taxes. You pay $900 for rent, $150 for utilities, and $300 for groceries. That's $1,350 on essentials. You should still have about $1,150 left. But when the next paycheck comes, your balance is close to zero. Where did that $1,150 go? A treat here, takeout there, random subscriptions, impulse orders, taxi rides, all without planning. None of the expenses I mentioned feel big on their own, but together they add up and eat away the money that could be paying off debt or building savings. The fix: track everything, plan everything out, and leave a small budget for treating yourself. Use a notes app, a spreadsheet, or a banking app with categories. The point is, you need to see the truth in black and white. It can be a little scary, but don't worry, nothing is as scary as being financially unstable. All right, on to the next point. The second mistake: letting every raise create new expenses. You get a promotion, a better job, maybe some side income, but instead of your bank account growing, your lifestyle inflation kicks in. You get a nicer car, a more expensive phone, you start going out more, and you sign up for new subscriptions because I can afford it now. Here's a simple comparison. Person A makes $2,000 a month, lives on $1,700, and saves $300. They get a raise to $2,500. They keep their lifestyle the same and now save $800. Person B makes $2,000 a month, lives on $1,700, and saves $300. He gets the same raise to $2,500 and immediately upgrades everything. New monthly spending, $2,200. He still saves just $300, so basically nothing has changed. After a year, Person A has saved $9,600. Person B has saved just $3,600. Same job, same income. The fix: when your income grows, don't let your lifestyle spending grow at the same rate. Keep a rule like, for every extra $1,000 per month I earn, I can spend $300 more. The rest goes to savings, debt payoff, or investments. You simply can't let every extra dollar be spent on dopamine hits by buying nice things. You actually can get nice things, don't get me wrong, but be smart about it. Set aside a small budget for it instead of spending all the extra cash you make. All right, now the third mistake, which is also a very common one. The third mistake is treating high-interest debt like it's no big deal. Credit cards, all those buy now, pay later services, consumer loans for gadgets and furniture, they all feel normal because everyone uses them. But normal doesn't mean harmless. Let's say you have $2,000 on a credit card at 25% APR and you pay only the minimum, about $50 a month. If you do nothing else, that balance will take you literal years to pay off and cost you hundreds, even thousands of dollars in interest. One simple example: if you paid $200 per month instead of $50, you're out of that $2,000 hole in about a year with far less interest loss. You just need to understand that expensive debt is like a hole in the boat. You can paddle hard, but the water still comes in. The fix: list your debts along with their interest rates. Focus on the most expensive ones first. Cut the extras for a while and throw as much money as you can at them. Every dollar you don't pay in interest is a dollar that can go into savings or investments later. In general, avoid debt as much as possible. Okay, moving on. The fourth mistake, having only one source of income and not even trying to add another. For a long time, that was normal. One job, one paycheck, stable and nice. But today, with the state of the economy, that's not the safest way. Staying fully dependent on a single employer is a luxury you really can't afford. I'm not saying you should be working 18 hours a day, but today passive income options are more accessible than ever. E-commerce, freelancing, you name it. You can sell things, be a tutor, flip unique items on eBay, offer consultations, even run a blog. It won't eat up too much of your time, but it will bring you extra income. All right, moving forward. The next mistake is treating investing as something for better times. A lot of people tell themselves, I'll start investing when I have more money. But they never define what more is, so it never happens. Here's how much that costs over time. Person A starts at 25, puts $150 a month into a simple broad market index fund. Let's assume an average annual return of 7% over the long term. By age 45, they've invested $36,000 of their own money, and the account can be around $77,000 to $80,000. Person B waits until 35 to start. Same $150 per month, same return. By 45, they've invested $18,000 and the account is around $26,000 to $27,000. Same monthly amount, the only difference is when they started. You don't need to pick stocks, but if you stay in the I'll save whatever is left mode, there's never anything left. The fix. Decide on a fixed small amount now, even just $50 or $100 a month, and treat it like a bill you've got to pay to yourself first. Over the years, that becomes one of the biggest factors in creating the financial peace you want. Okay, last one for today. Jumping from idea to idea and never staying long enough to get good at it. Trading, crypto, dropshipping, copywriting, coaching, YouTube. Some people try everything for 2 weeks, blame the market, and move on. The common pattern is they want money, but they don't want to take the time to become good at anything specific. Money follows value. Value comes from skills, being able to sell, to run ads, to manage people, to build systems, to understand customers. Pick one main lane. It can be e-commerce, freelancing, content, anything. Give it a realistic time frame, 6 to 12 months of consistent effort, and focus on becoming useful in that lane instead of constantly starting over with hopes of an immediate payoff. Most people don't stay broke because they're lazy or cursed or anything else. They stay broke because of a small set of decisions repeated for years, not tracking where the money goes, inflating their lifestyle every time their income grows, letting expensive debt just sit there, relying on one paycheck and ignoring new tools, never investing, and never sticking with any skill long enough to get paid well for it. The good news is, these are all fixable. You just need to change a few habits and learn to use the tools this world gives you. You simply do the best you can with what you've got. Okay, that's it for today. If you found this useful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.